The most important material for the manufacturing process is barley. Malted barley is the main source of flavours for single malt whiskies. Corn, rye or wheat are also used in other products, such as in bourbon. Before you can distill a whisky from the basic grain, it must first be malted. Malting the grain is one of the most important steps in whisky production. Grain is germinated in such a controlled manner that the germination is stopped just at the right moment. According to long-standing tradition, the barley is soaked in water in large vats, so-called steeps. The water is exchanged 2 or 3 times during the soaking. During this process, oxygen is added over a period of several hours, which helps the grain to absorb the water more quickly. This can take from 1 to 3 days, depending on the size of the grain. When the barley has a water content of around 45% after soaking, it is laid out on the malting floors. Depending on the temperature, it begins to germinate after somewhere between 4 and 9 days, and growth hormones released in the grain promote the production and release of enzymes. These destroy the seed coats and give the grain the strength to ensure that it develops roots and leaf sprouts. The enzymes, alpha and beta amylases, are needed to convert the starch into sugar when mashed. A lot of heat is generated as the barley germinates, so it has to be cooled. The maltsters use malt shovels and rakes to turn the grain regularly. This way, the heat is evenly distributed. When the grain has opened and the sprouts reach about 3/4 of the length of the grain, the germination process is interrupted. The grain, which is now referred to as green malt, is spread evenly on a floor and dried above a kiln oven. The drying stops germination and eliminates bacteria and mold. The taste of the barley now assumes a malty note and a certain sweetness. After curing, the barley has a water content of 4 to 5%. The traditional pagoda roof, a typical feature of distilleries in Scotland, ensures optimal airflow to the kiln. Immediately before mashing, the malted barley is ground to grist so that it opens and the sugar content can be extracted. Then, in the mash tun, it is mixed with water at a temperature of 62 to 65 degrees Celsius. The mash is stirred constantly using a rotating rake. Now the beta amylases are activated and convert the starch into various sugars, which are then dissolved in the water. Sugar types include maltose, glucose, maltotriose, and dextrin. The conditions under which the enzyme works affect its activity. In order to shorten the processing time, the brewer ensures the best possible conditions in the mash. After 30 minutes, the liquid is drained through the perforated bottom of the mash tun and collected. The mash is mixed with water a second time, this time at 70 to 75 degrees Celsius. The liquid is drained off and collected. The mash is now heated for a third time, with a water temperature of 80 degrees. However, the sugar content is much lower than in the previous steps, and therefore this mash is not used for the subsequent fermentation.